Mother.
My darling Meg.
My husband, Charles.
My dear sister, Janet.
It is 2 o'clock in the morning, and most of our men are asleep in their dugouts.
Yet I cannot sleep myself before writing to you the wonderful events of Christmas Eve.
In truth, what happened seems almost like a fairy tale, and if I hadn't been through it myself, I would scarce believe it.
Just imagine, while you and the family sang carols before the fire there in London, I did the same with enemy soldiers here on the battlefields of France.
As I wrote before, there has been little serious fighting as of late. The first battles of the war left so many dead that both sides have held back until replacements could come from home. So we've mostly stayed in our trenches and waited.
But what a terrible waiting it has been, knowing that at any moment an artillery shell might land and explode beside us, killing or maiming several men, and in daylight, not daring to lift our head above ground for fear of a sniper's bullet.
And the rain, it has fallen almost daily. Of course, it collects right in our trenches, and we have to bail it out as fast as we can. And with the rain has come mud, a foot or more deep.
It splatters and takes everything, and constantly sucks at our boots. One new recruit got his feet stuck in it. And then his hands too, when he tried to get out.
Through all this, we couldn't help feeling curious about the soldiers across the way. After all, they faced the same dangers we did and slogged about in the same muck.
What's worse, their first trenches were only 50 yards from ours. Between us lay no man's land, bordered on both sides by barbed wire. But sometimes they were so close, you could hear their voices.
Of course, we hated them whenever they killed our friends. But other times we joked about them and felt almost as if we had something in common.
And now, it seems they felt the same.
Just yesterday morning, Christmas Eve day, we had our first good breeze. Cold as we were, we welcomed it, because at least the mud had froze solid.
Everything was tinged white with frost, while the bright sun shone all over. Perfect Christmas weather.
During the day, there was little shelling or rifle fire from either side. And after the darkness fell on our Christmas Eve, the shooting stopped entirely.
Our first complete silence in months. We hoped it might promise a peaceful holiday, but we didn't count on it. We've been told the Germans,
Iranians, Central Americans,
Muslims
might attack and try to catch us off guard.
I went to sleep in the dugout to rest, and lying in my cot, I drifted off. All at once, my friend was shaking me awake, saying, "Come and see what they're doing." I grabbed my rifle and stumbled out into the trenches, and I stuck my head cautiously above the sandbags.
I never hoped to see a stranger in more lovely sight. All along the German line, tiny clusters of lights, shining as far as the eye could see.
Is it, I asked in bewilderment, and someone answered, Christmas trees.
And so it was. The Germans had placed Christmas trees in front of their trenches, lit by candle or lantern like beacons of goodwill.
And then we heard their voices, raised in song.
This carol may not yet be familiar to us in Britain, but one soldier knew it and translated, "Silent night, holy night." I'd never heard one lovelier or more meaningful. In that quiet, clear night, its dark softened by a first quarter moon.
When the song finished, the men in our trenches applauded. Yes, British soldiers applauding Germans.
Then one of our own men started singing, and we all joined in.
In truth, we sounded not nearly as good as the Germans with their fine harmonies, but they responded with enthusiastic applause of their own. And then they began another.
Then we replied,
But this time they joined in, singing the words in Latin.
British and Germans harmonizing across no man's land. I would have thought nothing could be more amazing. But what came next was more so.
English, come over! We heard one of them shout. You know shoot? We know shoot.
there in the trenches we looked at each other with bewilderment. And then one of us shouted jokingly, "You come over here!"
To our astonishment, we saw two figures rise out from the trenches, climb over the barbed wire, and advance unprotected across no man's land.
One of them called out, "Second officer, to talk."
I saw one of our men lift his rifle for the ready, and no doubt the others did the same, but our captain called out, "Hold your fire!" And he climbed out and went to meet the Germans halfway.
We heard them talking, and a few moments later, Captain came back with a German cigar in his mouth. He says, "We've agreed there will be no shooting before midnight tomorrow. Sentries are to remain on duty. And the rest of you, stay alert."
Across the way, we could make out groups of 2 or 3 men starting out of the trenches and coming toward us.
Then some of us were climbing out too, and in minutes there were more. There we were in no man's land, over 100 soldiers and officers of each side, shaking hands with men we'd been trying to kill just hours earlier.
Before long, a bonfire was built, and around it we mingled. British cat and German gray, and I must say those Germans, they were finely dressed, better dressed with their fresh uniforms for the holiday.
Only a couple of our men spoke their language, but more of the Germans
Yemeni.
Chinese.
Russians.
knew English. I asked him why this was. He says, "Many of us have worked in your country." Before all this, he was a waiter at the Hotel Cecil. He says, "Perhaps I waited on your table." I said, "Perhaps you did."
One German told me he had a girlfriend in London, and that the war had interrupted their plans for marriage. I said, "Don't worry, we'll have you beat by Easter, then you can come back and marry her." He laughed at that. Then he asked if I would take her a letter that he would give me later, and I promised I would.
Another German had been a porter at Victoria Station. He showed me a picture of his family back in Munich. His eldest sister was so lovely. I told him I should like to meet her someday. He beamed and said he would like that very much and gave me his family's address.
Even those who could not converse could still exchange gifts. Our cigarettes for their cigars, our tea for their coffee, our corned beef for their sausage. Badges and buttons changed uniforms and owners, and one of our lads even walked off with the infamous spiked helmets.
I myself traded a jackknife for a leather equipment belt, a fine souvenir to show, when I got back home.
Newspapers, too, changed hands, and the Germans howled with laughter at ours. They assured us that France was finished and the Russians nearly beaten, too.
We told them that was nonsense, and one of them said, "Well, you believe your newspapers and we'll believe ours."
Clearly, they are lied to. Yet, after meeting these men, I wonder how truthful our own newspapers have been.
These South Americans
African continent.
Asians.
Middle Easterners.
are not the savage barbarians we've read so much about. They're men and women with homes and families, dreams, hopes, principles, and yes, love of country.
In other words, men and women, just like ourselves.
Why are we led to believe otherwise?
As it grew late, a few more songs were traded around the fire, and then all joined in for, and I am not lying to you, Auld Lang Syne.
Then we parted ways with promise to meet again tomorrow.
And even some talk of a football match.
I was just starting back to the trenches when an older German clutched my arm. My God, he said, why cannot we have peace and all go home? I told him gently that he must ask the Emperor. He looked at me then searchingly. Perhaps, my friend, but also we must ask our hearts.
And so, dear mother,
Dear wife,
Dear husband,
Dear sister,
tell me, has there ever been such a Christmas Eve in all history?
and what does it all mean, this impossible befriending of enemies?
for the fighting here, of course, it means regrettably little. Decent fellows those soldiers may be, but they follow orders, and we do the same.
besides, we are here to stop their army and send it home. And never could we shirk that duty.
Still, one cannot help imagine what would happen if the spirits shown here were caught by the nations of the world.
Of course, disputes must always arise.
But what if our leaders offered well wishes instead of warnings?
Songs in place of slurs.
Presents in place of reprisals.
Would not all war end at once?
All nations say they want peace.
Yet, on this Christmas morning, I wondered if we wanted quite enough.
Yours, truly,
Yours, always.
Sincerely,
With all my love.
Amanda.
Jerrell.
Cristina.
Yeah.
Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should all acquaintance be forgot and days of Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear